Our friend Ross Dellinger from Sports Illustrated took the rankings that were released tonight and put together a bracket of what the 12 team would look like that is coming. So your 8-9 game would be USC at Alabama. Boy, nobody would want to see that one, Ari. That sounds terrible.
That's not the point I've ever made.
And the winner of that would play Georgia. I know it's never the point when it reinforces my argument that's correct. So the
two mediocre teams playing, yeah.
USC and Alabama. You don't want to see USC play Alabama.
I would love to see them play it.
Thank you.
I think that it waters down the product.
Thank you. That does not water. If it's something you'd love to see, it's not watering it down. Michigan, Tulane from the Big House. Okay. Michigan's probably winning that one. But what if Tulane won? Holy crap. They might. The winner of that plays Oregon. Let's go to the other side. The battle for the real Death Valley. Clemson goes to LSU. We know who's going to win that game. The winner plays Ohio State. Oh, no. An Ohio State LSU game. That sounds horrible.
But we might get one this year, too.
6-11, Tennessee, Ole Miss. An SEC game we didn't get to see in the regular season. Ole Miss goes to Knoxville. Maybe somebody throws another mustard bottle. Maybe Lane Kiffin signs it. The winner faces TCU. How awesome does that sound? That sounds amazing.
The thing you have to keep in account, and I'm honestly, if I try to sit here and argue like this bracket is not amazing,
you'll be wrong.
I will be wrong. I'm not trying to act like that. But I will say that you have to keep in mind, too, that at the end of the year, when they do the final rankings, the bracket might look similar to this, but the teams are going to be viewed differently because there's going to be 3 and 4 lost teams in it.
Yeah, but
and then at that point, it's not as sexy as it is today.
My lizard brain is looking at Alabama going to the Coliseum, and I'm like, hell yeah, let's go.
Yeah,
Nick Saban, Lincoln Riley, let's do this. Song Girls, para-style entrance, fight on.
We get
Traveler.
That. We get that. We get that. What we lose is everything else.
We lose nothing. We lose a system that sucks.
Okay.
It makes the back half of the regular season.
Why do you think I'm the only person that thinks this?
Because you're not.
You think I'm a moron? There are
a lot of morons who think this, but
I don't know. I just think it's preference. I love the sanctity of the regular season.
You will love this so much more, and I will laugh so hard at you.
And if that time
totally
comes,
bought in.
When that time comes, I will admit that I'm wrong. I'm good at that. But until then, I like that. I cannot wait. The game that you didn't mention here was TCU Texas, which is an awesome game. It's happening Saturday. It's a playoff game.
Well, they're not going to play that they're not going to play that anymore because Texas is leaving the conference.
No, but we're getting that this year.
Oh well, you're just going to have to deal with Texas, Georgia, and Texas LSU.
I'm just saying, you act like these games don't exist now. They do. They're just not. There's no logo on the field.
There's a logo on the field.
There's no CFP logo on the field.
Big old longhorn with an outline of the state of Texas.
Man, Ari, you used to cover Ohio State. Can you imagine what it'd be like if they were to lose and they were to play?
I think that's why I think this.
Play Ole Miss at Columbus in the first week of December. You know what people there are going to think and how great it's going to be.
Oh, people are going to have a blast.
Yes.
And people, honestly, the team that benefits the most from it is Ohio State.
I keep saying this sounds great, but it sucks.
The whole point of my whole point in my column is that we have to consider what we're losing, and you dismiss it completely.
No,
you don't even consider it.
No, I want the better thing over the worst thing. So when you're given an option between the better thing and the worst thing, guess which one I always
pick? You have
pick?
To pay for it.
No, I don't.
Yeah, you do.
No, I net out. I make a net profit. And you never go broke making a profit.
See, I don't like the talk about the top 4. I don't. I think it's like the NFL draft echo chamber industrial complex because we're just tearing down these teams so badly for half the. I mean, when TCU gets in there, people are just going to rip TCU apart. And
here's why CJ Stroud's actually not good. Yeah, yes. Exactly.
And when we're getting into 12 teams, then we're going to be talking about down bracket games. We're going to be talking about Minnesota versus Wisconsin and what the impact is on the SEC and whether or not they'll get that 12th game because of who Wisconsin loses to Ohio State. And if they win, then they boost their strength of schedule. That to me is what makes this more interesting. I'm an old bowl guy, but once that became irrelevant, then let's just go forward with the big.
What are the best games of the regular season so far this year?
SMU and Houston. That was freaking awesome.
Get out of here. What are the best teams in the college football this year?
Oh, Alabama LSU was amazing. But guess what?
Yeah.
LSU beating Alabama in Baton Rouge for the first time in 12 years would have been great.
No, I know, but what else?
On a last-second 2-point conversion would have been great.
What other good games were there?
Alabama.
Okay.
Georgia, Tennessee wasn't. Didn't hurt.
But going into it, it was the game of the year.
Yeah, but it wasn't. So
Oregon, Utah. I mean, USC,
Utah was great.
Yep.
Mm-hmm. Still going to be good. Actually, that
Michigan,
brings me
Penn
to something
State, maybe.
Michigan, Penn State was
Ohio
not great
State,
at all.
Notre Dame.
Not great.
No, I'm saying going into it, like the games that we.
Oh,
all I'm seeing is that the loser of all these games is represented here
in
this 12 team.
Great. I like watching those teams play. I enjoy that.
Okay, let me put it this way. Schadenfreude. I'm saying that right?
I never say it right. So
Schadenfreude? Schadenfreude.
Yes.
Is, I think, a element to college football that exists that is more present than any other sport. Would you agree with that?
You are more in Ari, I've thought about this.
Would you agree with that though, Scott? Okay.
No question.
I've thought about it. You are more into the pain than the pleasure.
I am, or those people that cover the sport.
I
think that most people are more entertained by the fact that Texas
want the games that cause pain.
Yeah.
Rather than the games that cause pleasure.
The people who are in pain
I am advocating for more pleasure. You are advocating for pain.
I think that pain is the pleasure for most people. When a team is in pain, everybody else gets the pleasure. That's been college football since the beginning of time.
When their team is experiencing pleasure, they also experience pleasure. So we're just looking at the world, and we're looking at the world exacerbate. Yeah,
exacerbate.
We're looking at the world from two different places. I'm looking at it from a place of
you covered college football my entire adult life. You don't know how important that is to the sport?
I know exactly how important it is, and I know that
it's removed.
As soon as the 12-team playoff starts, everyone will be all in, and all of the morons who fought against it will be like, oh yeah, this is probably better.
The one thing that irritates me to the core of my being with this argument is, even if I am wrong, from my point of view, I have met you halfway and I have said, hey, these points that you're making make sense. This bracket will be fun. I can't wait to watch because I'm right. Games. But you won't. You're unrelenting in your ability to acknowledge because I'm anything. Right. But it doesn't matter about
wrong.
Even if you think you're right about the whole argument, you're making it seem like I have no sub points.
No. I'm right. I will be proven right through history, and you will be proven wrong.
How many?
If I
what do you think's the most enjoyable thing to Texas this year? The fact that A&M sucks, or that their team's kind of good?
The fact that A&M sucks.
They get more pleasure out of it. You're removing that from the sport.
Their team's not that good. If their team was really good, that would mean more to them.
Yeah.
And by the way, they could still take. Why would I acknowledge them that they're wrong?
They're all wrong.
Yes.
There's no the things that I think people take pleasure in, and the reason why upsets are even a thing that people care about is wrong.
No, you think no one will care about those games anymore?
No, I'm
telling you they will care.
Be a worse quality of what they were as a result of the stakes being removed.
So nobody. Go ahead, Scott,
I think it will be much better this way, because instead of worrying about the number 8 or 9 or 10 team going to the Sugar Bowl, the Orange Bowl, the Cotton Bowl, now you can knock them out of the playoff. And that is,
you think it's better to go into the
how
Ohio
much fun
State
that's going to be
this year, and the result not mattering to other things other than
you're
bragging
only
rights?
Thinking of Ohio State.
You're only
I'm thinking about Alabama. I'm thinking about Tennessee and LSU and all these other teams that have lost that are still in this.
Stop. Ready? Imagine you are Minnesota. And you are 6-5 going into the Wisconsin game. And I know you don't, but that's why you're not thinking about Minnesota fans and Wisconsin fans who are real people whose opinions matter.
That their opinions should matter, and Wisconsin fans and Minnesota fans who have gone 9-0.
So when Minnesota beats Wisconsin and knock them out of the playoff, the level of Schadenfreude is going to be through the roof.
I just think that we're lowering the standard to be more inclusive. The standard of winning a national title is to be excellent.
Okay, and guess who has
You
to
don't
be
have
excellent?
to be excellent
The
anymore.
team that
You have
wins
to be
all the
mediocre
games
now,
in this tournament has to be excellent.
which will be the same as they currently are, while diminishing the value
Care,
of the
I will
regular
be more
season.
entertained.
It makes it more interesting. But
It
you know,
does.
here's
You
what
think the Michigan Ohio State games would be more interesting?
You just
Well,
you're only focusing on
Okay, what
those-
about Texas at TCU and Texas this weekend? It's more interesting that Texas TCU season's not going to be on the line. You think
I
that's
don't know.
more interesting? That's crazy. That's crazy talk.
No, here's the problem: is they could play again. The conference championship,
Which
is what
makes the
this-
game less appealing to me.
But
you know,
that's
what's the-
now. Scott's talking about now in the
What's-
14 playoff.
Right. I mean, if we're talking about like Ohio State, Michigan, what's everybody said that the worst possible thing that could happen is they play 2 weeks in a row.
Yeah.
If you remove that, but then they play in the playoff, I'm all in.
And if you
But
actually think about this in the 12 team, if Texas beats TCU this week, TCU would be out of a 14, but would still be in a 12 team. But if TCU loses to Baylor next week, same problem. It's just as interesting as the Texas TCU game in this world. So you've now had 2 interesting games to your 1.
I know, but I think that you are equating the stakes of making it in as an 11 seed as the same thing as making it in as a 4.
It is to those schools not named Alabama, Ohio State.
So all the
Clemson,
schools that are
and
actually
Georgia.
good enough to win the championship are the
Why do you do understand the bigger tent is better for everybody, right?
I think that it would be more entertaining to make programs rise up and achieve the
'Cause that's
challenge
worked
of being
so well.
excellent. It has. Michigan and Cincinnati made the playoff last year.
Okay.
And Michigan's
Cincinnati-
appearance in
Cincinnati
the
can make it
playoff last
again?
year,
No, they can't.
I know, because they weren't excellent this year. I don't think adding mediocrity into the equation of excellence is an improvement.
I think
I
you're
do.
mixing socialism with capitalism, and that's perfect.
It's a lot of capitalism. It's a whole lot of capitalism. So, listen, why are you telling all these fan bases your team doesn't matter?
It does matter when they raise the bar.
Or don't. Or just have fun doing it anyway.
It's not that
You're
different than
creating an artificial barrier that doesn't need to be there.
So, like, it's like your kids have a soccer game. It doesn't matter who wins. Everyone had fun.
No, it matters.
That's what that
who
sounds like to
wins.
me.
It matters
Why?
who wins.
Everybody played. It was fun. It was inclusive. Let's all go around campfire.
Yeah, if they go 0-12, that sucks.
No. Hey,
If they
but
go
Pitt-
11-1, which is a realistic record,
But 11-1 isn't who we're rewarding
Okay,
here.
if
It's the
they
9
go-
and
if they
3
go
teams
9 and
that we're
3.
giving. It's
9
like
and
we-
3
and like
9
I don't
and
know
3 is
why
a good year.
we have to consider the 3 lost teams.
Why not? What if they're better?
'Cause they're
what if
mediocre.
their conference is not equal to the other conference? What if the fourth best team in one conference, can't imagine which one we
But you will agree with me on
is
this.
better
that
than the best team in another conference?
none of those teams that you're mentioning will win the national title.
I don't care. St. Peter's
So
didn't
what is the
win the
playoff
national
about
title.
to you? Is the playoff about winning the national
Ari, it's a
championship or not?
freaking entertainment product. It's a television show. The
I
idea
know, the
is
television
to
show
make it
starts in
the
September.
most fun for the most people so they will watch the show.
when Pitt played Michigan State in the Peach Bowl, nobody gave a bleep.
Mhm.
If Pitt's playing Michigan State in the first round of a playoff, everybody
Very
cares.
exciting.
Kenneth Walker is staying. Kenny Pickett is staying. They both bolded because it's just the Peach Bowl.
Yeah.
That's really the point with this is, and you know what? The winner of that might go play Bama, Clemson, whoever, and get mopped up.
Mhm.
Who cares? You know, that to me, I think that's fun.
Ari
It's like
cares because
reaching
they
the
didn't,
Sweet
they
16.
didn't earn it, Scott. They didn't
It's not about
earn
earning it. It's just that you're rewarding mediocrity.
Ari, somebody's
think-
going to get smashed by Georgia at the end of the road anyway. You may as well have fun on the journey.
It's like we are bringing the bar down, like those Penn State teams that were 9-3 that drive their fans crazy are now successful.
Why can't they make their fans happy? What's wrong with their fans being happy with those teams?
It's just crazy.
Well, instead of going to the Cotton Bowl, now they go to a playoff and maybe they win a game or maybe they, you know.
It sounds so horrible. What a terrible thing for those Penn State fans and those Penn State players. How awful.
And I also
for them.
know, and I realize this, that just based on the columns that I read and the general temperature, like what Ross did with that bracket is the most common thing. like all national media and most reporters have taken this is amazing thing, right?
Ari,
it's like I know that I'm
you
on
put the bracket in front of people and they're like, wow, this looks pretty freaking cool. That is the argument. But
you can't
really
I
argue
understand that I am alone in the taste of like not watering down the regular season. And that's always been important to me, and that's my preference. And maybe if I'm in the minority
extreme minority here,
that's okay. That's my preference.
Oh, it is okay. But I reserve the right to point and laugh at you.
Okay, you can point and laugh at me all you want. I just think that some of the games that we get in the regular season are playoff games, and if you don't have to call it, but they
I'd rather have more better games in the regular season and more actual playoff games. So it's just math, Ari, and we know how you feel about math. So